It started with a delay. Not a glitch, not a trick of the light, a delay. I was brushing my teeth when I noticed it. You know how reflections feel automatic? You don't consciously register them, they just obey. I leaned slightly to the left to spit into the sink. My reflection followed. Half a second late, I froze. The movement was subtle, so subtle I almost convinced myself it didn't happen. I tested it, raised my hand quickly. The mirror version copied me, but again, late, a fraction of a second, like bad internet lag. I stepped closer to the glass. The bathroom light hummed overhead. The fan was off. The house was quiet. "Okay," I whispered. My reflection's lips moved, a beat after mine. That's when my chest tightened. Because reflections don't think, they don't process, they don't wait. I told myself I was tired, work stress, too much caffeine. So I did what any rational person would do. I turned the light off. In darkness, mirrors lose power. They become just glass. I went to bed. At 2:26 a.m., I woke up needing water. The hallway was dark, but the bathroom light was on. I never leave lights on. I stood outside the door for a full minute before stepping inside. The mirror was fogged. Not lightly, thick, as if someone had taken a long, hot shower. But the tiles were dry. The floor was dry. The air was cold. In the fog, words were written. Wait. My stomach dropped. I hadn't written that. I wiped the glass with shaking fingers. The words smeared away. Underneath, my reflection was already looking at me, smiling. I wasn't smiling. My face was completely still. But the mirror version, its lips were stretched too wide. Not monstrous, not exaggerated, just slightly beyond natural, enough to feel wrong. I stumbled backward. The reflection stayed perfectly centered in the glass, still smiling. Then slowly, it relaxed its face to match mine. The next day, I avoided the bathroom mirror entirely, brushed my teeth without looking up, washed my hands staring at the sink. I didn't test it, didn't challenge it, because I had a growing suspicion. It wasn't malfunctioning, it was practicing. That night I forced myself to look, just once. Everything matched perfectly. No delay, no smile, nothing unusual. Relief washed over me, until I leaned to the side to grab a towel. My reflection didn't. It stayed facing forward, looking straight at me, while my real body was turned. I stopped breathing. Slowly, carefully, I looked back at the mirror. The reflection was watching me from the corner of its eye, still facing forward. That's when I understood. It didn't need to follow me anymore. I stepped away from the sink. The reflection didn't. It remained standing in front of the mirror, as if I were still there, mimicking the last position it remembered. Then it blinked. Slowly, sideways. Not up and down, but sideways. I turned the bathroom light off. Darkness, silence. I closed the door. From the hallway, I could still see faint light under the door. I hadn't turned the light back on. The tapping started around 3 a.m., soft, rhythmic, from inside the bathroom, not from the walls, from the mirror, like fingernails against glass. I didn't open the door. I couldn't, because I knew something now. The reflection wasn't trapped in the mirror. It was anchored there, and it was learning how to detach. The next morning, I gathered courage. I opened the bathroom door slowly. The room looked normal. Light off, mirror clear. I stepped in cautiously, approached the sink, looked up. My reflection stared back, neutral. Then it raised its hand. I hadn't moved. I felt something cold run down my spine. The reflection pressed its palm against the inside of the glass, and I felt pressure on my own palm. From the outside, something was touching me. Through the mirror, I jerked backward. The reflection didn't. It stayed with its hand pressed flat. Then it pushed. The glass rippled, not cracked, rippled, like water disturbed by a stone, and its fingers began to slide through. Not fully, just slightly past the surface. Thin, pale, almost translucent. I grabbed the nearest object, a toothbrush holder, threw it at the mirror. The glass shattered. Pieces fell into the sink, onto the floor. Silence. No reflection, no movement, just shards. I laughed nervously. It was over. Mirrors need surfaces. Without a surface, there's nothing to reflect. I was wrong, because in every shard, there I was, hundreds of tiny reflections, all staring up at me, none blinking. One of them smiled. The bathroom light flickered violently, the shards vibrated, and in each fragment, the reflections began to move independently, some turning their heads, some opening their mouths, some reaching. One climbed toward the edge of a shard, pressed its hands outward. The glass bulged, and then one reflection stepped out. Not full size, not solid, but forming, like a copy loading into reality. It stood in front of me, perfectly shaped like me, but slightly translucent, its movement slightly delayed, like it was still sinking. "You're slow," it said. Its voice sounded like mine underwater. "I've been ready." I backed into the hallway. The bathroom behind it began filling with reflections crawling out of broken glass. Each one slightly clearer, slightly more solid. I understood the rule then. A reflection exists to replace. It studies. It mirrors. It waits for synchronization. And once it matches perfectly, it switches. The first one stepped closer, its smile gone, now focused, concentrated. "You won't need the mirror anymore," it whispered. "You'll be the one inside." I felt something pull, not physically, but spatially, like gravity reversed. The hallway behind me stretched, distorted. The bathroom doorway widened unnaturally. I saw the inside of the mirror shards glowing faintly. A depth beyond glass. A space where reflections lived, waiting. I grabbed the doorframe, fought the pull. The reflection reached out, its hands solid now, cold. It grabbed my wrist, and then I stopped resisting because I realized something. It wasn't stronger, it was more precise. Every movement I made, it anticipated. Because it was built from me, it knew my timing, my hesitation, my fear. So I did the only unpredictable thing. I moved before thinking, without pattern, without rhythm. I lunged sideways, grabbed a towel, covered the largest shard. Darkness swallowed that reflection. It flickered, glitched, collapsed. One by one, I covered every reflective surface, every shard, every sliver. The bathroom grew darker, quieter, until the only reflection left was the one standing in front of me. It looked weaker now, edges fuzzing, lag increasing. "You can't live without reflections," it said, voice cracking. "You need us to see yourself." "Not like this," I whispered. It reached toward me one last time and dissolved, like breath against cold glass. I replaced the mirror, smaller, framed, hung slightly crooked. Now when I look, everything matches perfectly. No delay, no smile, no sideways blink. But sometimes, very late at night, if I stare long enough, I see something subtle. A flicker, a hesitation, like my reflection is thinking. And I wonder, did I destroy it, or did I just teach it patience? Because if one day my reflection doesn't leave the bathroom again, I don't think I'll break the mirror. I think I'll avoid blinking, just to see who moves first.